I'm Sister Maureen and Wanyora, a Loreto sister, commonly known as the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And I'll be doing a presentation on the youth ministry that I have been collaborating with. Just a brief introduction of our charism as Loreto sisters. We are contemplative women who respond to the needs of the world in a way that the good news of God's love can be known and embraced. We also live simple lives that focuses our energies to see where the need is the greatest. And most of our ministries are in relation to the signs of the time, and we are geared towards empowering women and girls. Most so, we also propagate and defend the Christian faith, mostly in our schools, that is through educations and works of justice and service of God's people. So we live to witness to Christ's call in the gospel in the spirit of our foundress, Mary Ward. Our mission, we bring the gospel to life by our own witness and by supporting each other, individuals and in communities. We also follow the ignition spirituality. So we promote the freedom, to refer all to God. That is through spiritual ministries and education. As I had said earlier, we also empower women and girls so as to make their voice heard. And through this, we are able to empower the families. We are also channeled towards leading people to the Christian act of love. And we do this by responding to God's call, by our focus being the poor and those with the greatest need. Following in the footsteps of our foundress, Mary Ward, our mission is to transform the church and the world, particularly by empowering women to seek truth and to do justice. Now, ways in which we have been able to develop the youth development, we've done this through education, as some of us teach in the primary, the high school, and the tertiary level. Some of our sisters are also involved in youth empowerment through the various programs like Wanawake kwa Wanawake and the project that I collaborated with, Termination of Female Genital Mutilation. We are also involved with the youths and engage them as part of our call to serve the youth. A brief history of my partner ministry profile. As I said, it's Termination of Female Genital Mutilation, which is a project of Loreto Sisters, East Africa Province. The mission is to develop the capacity of communities in Kenya and Africa as we adopt an alternative rite of passage, which promotes and affirms the dignity of the girl child. The project is able to serve over 1,000 youths with the age range of 18 to 35 years. So the youths come from 10 counties. Now we've added more counties, that is Nakuru and as named there. These are areas where they are prone to female genital mutilation. So just a brief history on FGM. Some cultures endorse it as it represents their cultural pride, and some women are intended to make the girl, it is intended to make the girl polite and to prevent her from becoming hyperactive in her social and sexual interactions. It is also an indispensable condition to women's marriage, and it is not intended to violently harm or stigmatize them, but to express love. So these are some of the beliefs that most of our cultures believe that FGM does to the girls. So some of the strengths and successes that the project have been able to achieve is that those who are rescued from undergoing FGM and other vices are happy and motivated, and they become successful. In the different workshops that we hold, they are able to learn the impact of FGM on girls and women and their role in terminating FGM. They're also able to go back to their respective communities where they sensitize those who are not able to attend the seminars. And they also form groups from the seminars that we carry out. That's act as support systems. The youths we have, of course, they face different challenges. One of them being harmful cultural practices, because when they go back, they are sometimes tempted to go back to the other cultural practices. They also experience poverty, because sometimes poverty leads them to go through the FGM. And unsupportive families, when they go back home, they are rejected or stigmatized. So these are challenges that they face, and peer pressure, because you can imagine you are the only girl who has not gone through the FGM. So there's peer pressure that leads them, and there's stigmatization, as I had said earlier. So our contribution to their development, if I begin with the physical health, we sensitize the youth about the adverse effects of FGM, and we also engage them in physical activities when we hold the workshops for them during the school holidays. Emotional health, we also provide counseling services for the youth as we encourage them to share their experiences, which are usually traumatic. The spiritual development, as religious women, we also have the morning devotions and the masses during the seminars. And some of the lessons that they cover have Bible references. And the healing from traumatic or difficult experiences, they are encouraged to talk to the facilitators, and they are able to counsel and guide them. And in other cases, they are referred for more counseling or treatment. So in my process of collaboration, I managed to invest in creating awareness, as I had learned on integral development and the effects of trauma on human development, which has encouraged them and empowered the young girls. The community participation and involvement have been of great importance, especially as we engage them for future development of the project, and the improvement on the local target communities, as we're able to identify the project and support it. The local community is quite important, especially when you're dealing with issues to do with FGM. So one of the strongest disciplines in the program is the one on personal mastery, as we have people who have different skills and vision, which is often to mission and explicit the goals of the project. They, of course, have varied skills and competencies, and these have been of great help and advantage to the program, as we are able to embrace the human dignity of each person. At the same time, with my collaboration with the project, I would recommend the program to work more on the discipline on system thinking, as we are inclined to have a narrow focus on what has been put in place. So this will allow us to look instead for patterns, for links, and changes in one area of a system. And we'll also see how we ourselves are part of the problem we seek to solve, and such realization will help us or impel us to new levels of awareness and conversion. In my conclusion, what I'm happy about is that my partner ministry has been able to foster relationships that promote healing by providing an ideal environment that is safe, and have given the youth an opportunity to share experiences. This involves careful listening and deep empathy with each other. We are able to have that time with the young girls. So this has boosted their self-esteem and confidence by tapping their talents and creating awareness on ways on how to cope with traumatic stress in a healthy way. However, we have some characteristics of relationships, as we have learned in Loyola, that promote healing from trauma. So when we begin to experience the other as fellow subject rather than object, we enter into a relationship where a particular attribute does not stand for the totality of the other person. I was drawn to quote one of the readings we had during our lessons by Dalai Lama, where he says that the more we develop compassion, the more genuinely ethical our conduct will be. I think this is what we have experienced in our different ministries and projects, that when we develop the relationship, We are able to appreciate each human person in respect of each person's dignity through love, compassion, and a safe environment, which we provide in our project of FGM. And the girls are able to feel free and feel like they are in a safe environment. This is because relationships shape who we are. Thank you, and God bless you.